Okay, so thank you everybody for joining in this evening. Please share the live video, share to your platform, share to your friends. Thank you for joining. Thank you everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining from. It's a pleasure having you. Please share the live video as you done, okay?
I want to tell you,
Okay, so good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being part of the live broadcast again. All right, so we are starting the show right away. And then, as you know, my name is Daddy Chris, and I'm in the studio today, as usual, with Dr. Jaffney. Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening, Chris. How are you doing today?
Awesome, I'm doing okay. Then, at least so good that we are back again this
Absolutely.
day. Yeah, at least we have a lot of people who are so excited as we go into session 4 today. I know that people are expecting a lot from us. I mean, what do you
Absolutely.
have to tell our viewers this evening?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the session today. So good to have everybody here again for the fourth session of this series that we have been doing with the mission that we can share thoughts and perspectives, knowledge and skills and information that can make you more employable, can make you more profitable, and of course can enable you to leverage what you have and of course build a thriving career and a thriving business. And in this session 4 we are looking at something very important and interesting, and I know that you will get some insights that you can use to build a thriving career and a great business for yourself.
Of course, and over the past few weeks, we have been talking so much on monetizable skills and attitude. We have had a series of online shows that we've tried to talk about, and this was specially organized in a way that can be able to lead you towards the objective that you are craving for. Now, today,
Absolutely.
today we are going to be talking about personal branding and how it can help you to succeed. So that's going to be our topic for today. And then before we get back to the topic, so that I can get Doctor to throw more light on the topic and introduce, let's take a moment and also greet some of our followers who are joining us today. I see Laughlin, I see you, Della, I see you, Gillian, I see you, Chantal. Thanks for joining, Jen. And then I see you. Is it Fezzi? I mean, a lot of people joining. Yeah, we'll be coming back to your comments, like Parvin, Laughlin, and the rest. We'll be coming back to your comments as we progress today because we don't actually have enough time, but we'll read all your comments as we can. Now, Doctor, can you, before we go into this topic today, can you throw highlights so that the viewers should know exactly what they're expecting to learn today?
Yeah. You know, as Chris said, in the last couple of weeks, we have been looking at how to bring anybody who is going through these shows to come to the place where they can be able to monetize, their skills or their businesses in a better way. And in this edition, we are looking at how you can bring two important things together, which is social media and personal branding. Because in this dispensation, one of the most powerful things that anybody can do is the ability to create a strong brand and leverage social media and use that to advance his or her career or business. And this is one thing that for the next couple of years, 10, 20, 40 years, it will remain one of the most important things. I was talking to a group of entrepreneurs and I was telling them that if you have a balance sheet, for people know what the balance sheet is, or if you are calculating your assets, where you write land as an asset, if you have a good brand name, you can put your brand where you put landed collateral, land as an asset. If you have a good social media following, you can do the same. Why? Because we are now in a dispensation where attention and the ability to influence people with your name is now an asset in this dispensation. So in today's session, we are going to briefly show you the power of social media personal branding in your career and in your business, and how can you build this personal brand, because everybody needs to have a brand. And the funny thing about branding is if you are not building a brand, automatically you already have a brand, because you have no brand and you have a brand that cannot help you in any way. But one of the things that can enable you to be able to do this is for you to understand how to leverage the two together. Let me share a brief testimony. I've had the privilege to travel 20 countries plus, and I was being interviewed on BBC, and I said, I cannot tell my success story without social media, because the countries I've traveled to, people have seen me but on different platforms, Twitter, social, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all of that. And they have invited me to these countries to come and speak and do the work that I do. And it is because of the branding. It's because of leveraging on social media to be able to merge these two together. So if you're unemployed right now, you can learn how to use branding and social media to increase your chances of getting a good job. If you run a business right now, you will learn how to use branding and social media to increase your chances of getting more customers. That's what we're talking about today.
That is absolutely wonderful. And just like he has said, branding is something that you need to build, because if you don't build a brand, you automatically have a brand already. Now, Absolutely. It is about, branding is about a promise. It's just like a promise that you are making to the people. It's like a promise that you are making to the public. It's like an identity that you are creating for yourself. And you have to understand that this identity already exists. It's just about you deciding to reshape this identity to make the people see you as the person that you are. And this is one of the reasons why we are here today, to make you build a brand that will set you on the success path. Because now people feel sometimes that you say that building a brand will have to take me a lot of commitment, resources, and all that. But now, if you don't build a brand, the society will determine the brand for you. So it's
Absolutely.
either you building a brand or allowing the society to build your brand for you. So you ask
Mhm.
yourself, do I want to build a brand for myself, or I will allow the society to build the kind of brand that they want to build for me? So in either
Yeah.
way, this live show today is going to be really important for you because it will help you to determine how the society needs to look at you by building your brand, your personal brand. And like I said, a brand is a promise that you are making to yourself, you are making to the people, and then you are trying to deliver that promise. Now, we
Absolutely.
have been talking about a couple of topics. The first topic that we talked about, because all these live show series that we are doing is under what we call monetizable skills and attitude. So the first
Yeah.
one, we talked about identify your monetizable niche. We went to developing high income skills for financial growth. We talk about
Mhm.
monetizing your expertise through online platforms. And today we are talking about the power of of personal branding. Um, I mean, using social media and all that. Now,
Absolutely.
this was just a highlight here to make some of the people who are just catching up. Maybe you can be able to scroll back on our pages and also look
Mhm.
at what we have been talking about so that you should be able to, you will be in line with what we are saying. Okay, so doctor, let's ride on. Let's go. Let's unleash the cat out of the bag.
Yeah. Awesome. So we're going to start by looking at what is a personal brand. And a personal brand can mean different things, right? A personal brand can mean what people think about you. A personal brand can mean what sets you apart. A personal brand can mean what you are known for. I like to break personal brand into these three categories. Let me repeat again. Number one, what do people think about you in that industry? And we're focusing on personal branding for career and business success. So if you're a professional, if you're a university student right now, or you have graduated, what do people think about you based on what you studied in school or based on what you're doing as a professional? Personal brand is what sets you apart, what makes you unique, what makes you different. When people look at you, they can quickly pinpoint, oh, she is different. This particular thing, the way she does it, sets her apart. The third thing about personal brand is what are you known for? What do people know you for? That's your personal brand, right? And I talk a lot about value creation, but value is in levels. And one of the most important part of value is perceived value. There's something called perceived value. And perceived value is very important. The kind of perceived value that people have about you will determine how much they will honor you and how much they will pay you. And the elements that validate perceived value is called your personal brand. For example, if you are going to apply for a job and the way you structure your CV, how you write your CV, the kind of presence, what if the employer decides to search you online on Facebook and on Twitter and on LinkedIn? What they will see about you, that is your brand, and it automatically affects your perceived value. And the way they perceive you will determine how much they're willing to pay you. You see? So your personal brand is very important because it helps you to develop the right perceived value, which can increase your chances or your bargaining power. It is the same for business people. If you run a business, what do people think about your business? That is your brand. What sets you apart the way you run your business? That is your brand as a business person. What are you known for as a business owner? And all of these things determine the perceived value that people have for you. Now, when you understand this and you now link it with social media, why? Because social media platforms are channels that you can use now to communicate your brand. Because a brand without a channel where people can understand, because the channel is where people can see what sets you apart. And a channel is where people can see what you are good at. So when you merge personal branding and social media platforms, you can be able to increase your chances of having a better career and a better business. Why is that important? Because on social media, people can know you. For example, how did I and Chris connect? It's through Facebook. It's not as if we grew up together or went to the same school. No, we all knew each other because of the way he runs his Facebook page and the way I run my page. And that's how we became friends through social media. We have never met, but we do projects together as if we have met before. We have never met physically. That's the funny thing, right? But it is the branding, it is the perception, the perceived value that Chris had and that I had, that we were able to see that, oh, we can collaborate and do a couple of things together as far as the work that we do is concerned. You see, that is the branding, your personal brand, and of course, your social media. Now, there's a difference between your personal brand and then personal branding. Branding now is the activities that you do to promote your personal brand, right? For example, the way you, let me say, if you leave and you go to a photo studio and take a good picture so you can put on your profile on Facebook, that is the act of branding. So you can create a brand. So activities that you do so you can create a perception around you is called branding. For example, I like to go on live shows with my hoodie that carries my name. This activity is called branding, so it can create a brand in the minds of people, right? And that's why, as a professional, I always talk about this a lot on my Facebook page. Be careful about the things that you post. Be careful about it. You cannot be looking for a job and your profile picture carries you drinking alcohol and 533x4. That's a brand that you're creating, that you're a drunkard.
Unknowingly.
Exactly, unknowingly. You see, so the activities that you do leads to that. Next, we're going to look at from my end, and I know Chris has a couple of points. I have six practical things that you can do to build a strong personal brand on social media and use it to improve your career and your business. Yes, Chris.
Yeah, I think that was self-explanatory, and then I will just have to throw in a couple of points before we go to the next step. Now, just like Doctor has talked about branding, it's about how you perceive yourself and how people also perceive you. And then it's about creating an identity. And to create a brand, there are things that what you have to ask yourself, because first, you need to know your identity. Ask yourself, who am I? Exactly. Now, if you don't know yourself, nobody will know you. And then you don't even know where you are going to. So you need to, first of all, be able to discover your identity. And if you discover this, your identity, who you are, you really know what you can offer to the people. Absolutely. So branding is not something that you just jump up and you brand yourself in any particular, because we are living in a world where we have a lot of people trying to stand out. And creating a brand actually means that you want to be extra, amongst those people, that you want to set yourself on a competitive market. Yeah. And in order to create yourself in a competitive market, you need to create your brand, and you need to make sure your brand stands out. Now, while creating your brand, you need to look at what you stand out. Is it excellence? Is it teamwork? Is it innovation? What are your qualities that you have? Most of us, this a couple of days, I've been posting a little bit on my platform about interview questions, because I had a session with some people and I really realized how much most of us are lacking when it comes to attending interviews. Now, even before you're going out for an interview, there are things that you always need to know. There are qualities that we all need to have, and this quality is your branding. It is your brand. You are branding yourself. Like, you are asking, are you innovative? Are you good in teamwork? Are you is it excellence, or what part are you in? So these are things that you need to know. So now I will allow Doctor to talk about the areas, how the importance of branding and other areas, and then I will come in again, maybe talk a little bit about branding and some laws of branding.
You good? Yes. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, you started talking about this already, which was practical ways that you can build brand. One of the main category, the main thing you have to get right is your identity. As Chris said, because we're in a dispensation where you can get to copy a lot. People get to be under pressure. or because she's doing this and succeeding, let me do it also. Everybody has their identity that makes them better, right? Again, the main foundation why we decided to handle this as a separate topic is because with a good brand, you can effortlessly get career opportunities, get better job offers. There are people with a good brand, they will not need to, even formally be moving from office to office to apply for a job. If they can just post on their page that, hey, I need a job, people will happily employ those people. Why? Because of the kind of brand that they have. Same for business people. The kind of personal brand that you have can influence the sales that you're making, right? Because of the kind of perception that people have about you. You have a personal brand. When you talk about your business, automatically people want to patronize the business because whatever you are linked to, people want to be part of it, right? And we spoke the other time on how you can use social media and gain brand ambassadorship deals. I have this school that came to me and they wanted me to be the ambassador. And I said I was asking for 2 million to talk about their school for 6 months, and they were giving something less, I think $1 million. And I said, no, I'm not taking that. I know my brand, I know my worth, I know the kind of followers I have. I don't. Anytime Jerry doesn't follow me, I was using my brand to bargain, and I don't struggle to create content. You see, so that is branding, because people want to stand on it and advance their own agenda, and the same as you can use it and advance your own agenda. There are many entrepreneurs struggling to raise funds, not because people are not there who have money. There are many billionaires and millionaires who have money to finance business ideas, but they don't want to finance any type of person. They want to finance trusted people, people with credibility, people with a good brand or good perception that is important, or they feel that they can associate themselves with those people. You see, so branding is very important for that. So please find your identity. Number two, if you're going to build a brand, which is where I see many people messing up. Number two, identify an industry and decide that you will build your brand in that industry. That's the second condition for branding. Many people are missing out on this, right? I always tell people that nobody will value you or pay for your services or respect you as an authority if you are everywhere. If you are going to build a brand, you need to make up your mind. I want to be recognized as an authority in this sector. If you want to focus on humanitarian stuff and things like Chris is doing, fine, become an authority in that area. You build your brand in that sector, right? You want to focus on relationships, on agriculture, on technology, on business, on personal productivity, on whatever, but don't be everywhere. People who have strong branding, check. A strong brand name, check. They have a level of authority and expertise and a track record in a particular sector, in a particular industry. You see, because somebody should, for example, if I call the name Samuel Etofis, what comes to your mind is football, because he is not as an authority in that sector. If I call, for example, LeBron James, or if I call Nelson Mandela, if I call Nate John Frondi of blessed memory, it's the same thing. Certain things are going to come to our mind because these people have developed a track record and expertise in a particular sector. So if you are going to build a brand that you can monetize, you're going to build a brand that can bring value to your career and value to your business, you need to make up your mind from today that from today, I want to build a brand name in this industry. And how can you pick these industries? Number one, you can decide the industry based on what you studied in school. So, okay, if I have a first degree in this, I can start building a brand name around that particular area. or your passion. You can study chemistry, but you're passionate about shoes or clothing. You can start creating your brand around that particular stuff, right? Or you can do that around things that interest you. Maybe you just love technology. Technology just interests you. You can start building a brand around that particular area. But if you miss this particular part, you would never be able to build a strong brand. And just to add with this, one thing about building a strong brand in an industry is that it makes it easier for you to bargain. There are some people that, for example, graphic designers, if you have developed a brand around graphic designing and marketing and sales and things around branding, if somebody comes to you and you charge them 10,000 francs, 15,000 francs, they will pay. They're not paying because you can click some things and create a good graphic. No, they're paying because there is a perceived value that they have about you because you have consistently developed a track record in that industry. You see, there's a funny encounter I had where we went to speak for an event in Yaoundé, and there were a couple of other speakers. And I later discovered that I charged that event. I asked for 500,000 francs to speak for 2 hours, and I was paid 500K. The least person was paid 100,000 francs. I didn't know. I discovered it later. But the difference was that there is a way I've developed a brand around business and strategy and the things I talk about. And there is a level of perception that people have. And some people say that, when you also build a good brand, people start thinking that you are expensive and they will not like to come to you, which is also good. It now stops certain kind of people coming to you and it selects the kind of customers that come to you. It all depends on the kind of brand that you develop for yourself. But the underlying factor is, please find an industry. I have seen many people that they are everywhere. Today they are posting about youth development. The next day they are posting about women development. The other day they are posting about giveaway. The other day they are posting about what? Kayamata. The other day they are just everywhere. And every trend on Facebook they are talking about it. Every latest topic they're talking about it. For those who follow me, you notice I don't talk about all trends. If there's something trending that is not in my industry, I will never comment. For example, many people did a couple of things trend in the last couple of days. I did not comment about any. It doesn't affect my industry. And I don't want to dirty my brand with things that doesn't make sense. You see? So find an industry and grow in it is going to help you. Chris, are you there?
Okay, yes, Doc, I'm here. I think I was on mute. Now, yeah, this is you just talked, and then I realized that there is this young guy who came to me a couple of days ago and was asking me to post on. He has a project that he wanted me to post on my page. Yeah, so he tried to talk to me about it, and I told him, look, I'm not a blogger. I have a brand that I'm building. No matter how much I would like to help you, I have policies that I'm following on my page. Now, it doesn't matter whosoever, even if it's me, myself, I will not do that. We have 2 pages. We have Voice of the Voiceless, which belongs to an organization. And sometimes there are stuff that I can post on that page that I can never post on my page. I told the guy kept begging me and talking. I told him that, yeah, in as much as he begged me, I feel it. I like to do it, but I cannot just go beyond the policies that I have. That is it. And that is what they call building a brand, because you need to be consistent. And now, building a brand has even made you outstanding in a way that when employers are looking for you, or when employers need you, just a few clicks, they are able to get you on social media and know what you represent.
Exactly.
So those things that you post matters a lot. Now I think Doctor has talked about a lot of things. Now I'm going to flash through the 8 laws. I'm just going to go through the 8 laws of personal branding. Now, there are things that he has already mentioned, which means that I'm not going to really spend so much time out. He talked about a little bit about specialization, which is the first law that I'm talking about, which means that you have to have an area of specialty that when it comes to your brand. This is something that you just ended on. So this is the first law. I will not talk about that again. He talked about leadership. Leadership is commanding yourself, being recognized and acknowledged. You have to make people to recognize you and acknowledge you for what you do. Like he is dealing with business. He posts on business all year round. And when they are talking about leadership in business, you recognize and then acknowledge him as somebody who is dealing in business. So ask yourself,
Absolutely.
what is that area that you are being recognized for and being acknowledged? I do life coaching. And basically, I do everything that has to deal with you, setting you on the path to success and helping you to navigate life problems without having issues. So there sometimes that's why you see me. Sometimes I try to motivate. I post motivational words to help motivate you. I post maybe about English words to help you in your interviews. I help about interview questions. And these are things that you will not see me go beyond that. This is the
Absolutely.
brand that you are building. Now, we talk about personality. What is your personality? What can people easily describe you for that you are going? Somebody can say, let's say the lady that does cleaning, or sometimes we see when you go to, you look at your phone, maybe there are women that they sell in the market. You might say the arrow woman, mommy arrow. You already recognize the woman as mommy arrow because that is what the lady is as known for. You say the graphics lady. It's when they call you the graphics lady, it does not mean that all your life is graphic. It means that you have created a brand around graphics
Absolutely.
that people recognize you as the graphic person. So that you should be outstanding in something that you are doing if you are creating a brand. That is the third law that we are talking about. And then it should be distinctive. That's the fourth law. It should be distinctive in your brand. Now, creating a distinction means that they can say, for example, the lady that wears red. This is one word that describes you, or that person that always wear high heels. Now, it is you are being distinctive in your field. So we are talking about branding. You should be distinctive. And then we talked about visibility. Visibility means that you have to be consistent, show up, repeatedly doing what you are doing. When you are you are visible, people know where to get you to see you. You are on social media, you show up every day. There are people who have not posted a single thing on social media since 2019. You spend 3 years, you don't talk about anything. We don't even know what you stand for. Like you just use social media to come in, post on your inbox and go, yeah, we understand. You're already creating a brand for yourself. You already know what you represent. And that's what we said at the beginning of this live show, that it's either you are creating a brand for yourself or the society is creating a brand for you. So if you cannot be able to let us know what you are building, then we already know what you are building. Because what you are building is that you are building nothing. So nobody will be interested in you because you are not outstanding in anything in the society. People feel that sometimes, like doctor says something which is really, I think I love that fact. Like you should not be come today, you post about giveaway, tomorrow you post about fighting that was somewhere, after tomorrow you post about marriage, the other day you will post about things that are important. They are so nice, we like them, but what are you known for? You are not creating a brand because you are just that kind of a general person that catches. You are like, we call it, is it Congosa blog? We can call it Congosa blog. Now, there is this guy on social media, because even when we talk about blogging, right? Blogging, people create a brand. It doesn't mean that as you're a blogger, you talk about everything. I know
Everything.
this
Yeah.
guy, the Day Divine. I think, is it a Day Divine who posts on sports?
Yes.
Yeah, he talks
Sports.
about sports. When they talk about a Day Divine, you already know what comes into your mind is sports.
Exactly.
The know of people who post only about entertainment. When they talk about entertainment, it comes to your mind that this is the person we are talking about. So that is a brand that they're already creating for themselves. Now, which brand are you creating for yourself? The social media is a space that is so expanded. You can be able to pick up a particular area and then do well in it, and people come for you. You are creating an opportunity in that environment and making you. We study in economics, they say specialization leads to greater output. So if you are not able to specialize, don't think that you can be able to have a greater output. Then the sixth one, I talk about utility. Utility is your behavior. When we are talking about utility, they're talking about your behavior behind what you do offline. You should not come and tell us online what about being a good father to your kids, and then someday we discover that you are not a good father to your kids. Or maybe you are preaching to us online about marriage, that marriage is a good thing, and then we see you divorced for reasons that you have been corrected. So this is what utility. That is the
Yeah.
sixth law of branding. For you to be recognized, you need to have this one. And then I'll talk about the last but one, which is persistence. You will discover that a lot will not go well at the beginning. You will start posting about football, and then you will discover that entertainment is better than football. And then by the time that you want to post about entertainment, you see that no, people, it's good that I should start posting about relationship. You want to talk about relationship, you see that no, people are actually talking about traveling. Let me go about that. This is because you failed from the beginning. You were not able to identify who you are. Because if you identified who you are, you will stay true to your course, no matter the fact that it is not moving. But you will know that since what you are doing is what you were born for, is what you were made for, it is going to work eventually. So ask yourself in the beginning, it's just like a house, right? If you want to construct a home, the foundation is usually very important, because if you miss it at the level of the foundation, you miss it forever. So ask yourself very pertinent questions at the beginning. What am I made for? What do I stand for? What are my policies? And am I actually following the path I was born for? And then stay true to that course. Be persistent no matter how you fail within. You will fail 10,000 times. That is true. I know of a lady who wrote GCE 9 times and failed. But when she wrote the 10 times, she passed the GCE. Today, you need to see what she is. She is in a level where those people who wrote and passed before her, none of them can even compete with her. This is because she kept writing. She knew that she was persistent. So that is persistence. And then I will talk about the last law, number 8. I said I was just going to browse through them because he talked about a lot of things which I don't want to repeat them. The last law of branding is goodwill. You have to build a personality and you have to be positive about what you're doing.
Yeah.
If people are talking about you, what is that thing that will stick to their mind? There are names, like we say, like if they just call a name, you already know what that name is. You know what it means. You have already built a name behind you. We know of people in the world when they call their names, people you have never met them. Just like Dr. Jaffney said, we have never met. But we met only on social media. We connected, and what connected us was our brand. What connected us was our names. Now, your name automatically becomes your brand. That is what you should know. And then, a brand is about you are marketing yourself and marketing your product. You are not just marketing your product; you are marketing yourself. So, in order to build a brand, make sure that you are marketing yourself first, and then when you market yourself, and then your product is being marketed. You see people like Trump. Trump has built a brand around himself. And when you look at things, you hear things like the Trump Tower. And have you ever asked yourself why maybe you are online, you are supplying services online, maybe you are selling dresses or your statues. Another person is still selling those same dresses, but the person sells more expensive than you do, and they keep buying from that person and not from you. What they are buying is the brand and not the dress that the person is selling.
Yeah.
So if you may fry granite or chin chin and you are selling chin chin with another person, you sell the same, maybe the same chin chin, you fry it and then you give some to that person to sell. That person might be selling maybe a bottle of chin chin for 1,000 and you sell that same bottle for 500. People might not even buy for the 500. They will go for the person selling for 1,000.
Absolutely.
The reason why they're buying from that person is because it is well branded. The person has branded her name. So they are buying from the person because they know, they trust this person. If I trust you, I trust everything that comes from you. If I believe in you, I believe in everything that comes from you. So you need to create that belief and trust in you so that people should be able to trust from you. Hi, Doziti. Thank you for joining us. See you. Good evening. Doctor, I think
awesome.
you'll be able to, take up
from
here.
Good. Yeah, I mean, those 8 laws are so powerful, and if anybody picks them and start practicing, a lot is going to change. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about in terms of the practicality of implementing, as I was talking about, linking to what Chris just shared, was please, skill. Make sure that you build your skill. I always say that if you promote what you are not good at, that is hyping, that is not branding. There are a lot of hypers in the name of branding. And the foundation of a good brand is the skill of the person behind that brand. Show me a brand that will last for 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. I will show you the skillfulness of the person or the people behind the brand. So, for example, if you're trying to build, let me give an example. I see Charisma in the comment section. Charisma also sells shoes, for example. And she's building a brand around herself in selling shoes to professional and corporate women or business women. Now, the skill that will make that brand to stand is her ability to know the materials to know the companies that make the shoe, and to know the real story behind the shoes, right? Her ability to explain why that shoe is important to a particular lady and how the shoe can complement a particular dress or enable the lady to wear that particular shoe for a particular event. That is the skill. If you are building a brand around you making cakes, for example, it's not just about you making the cakes, it's your skillfulness in making that cake. It's your skillfulness in a way that I can come to you and explain to you that I need a cake for a birthday, and you can use your skill to create a cake that will be suitable for my birthday and for the event that I'm looking at displaying the cake. So skillfulness is very important in your brand. There are many people that they will need to go back and take courses or training or mentorship or coaching in a particular area to build the right skillfulness that can lead to the strong brand that they can monetize in their career or in their business.
Yeah.
Another important element in branding is consistency in elements. What does that mean? If you're building a brand in this, like now we're in an era where there are many social media channels. If you are going to build a brand that will automatically influence people, you need to learn how to be consistent in the social media channels where you have accounts. For example, if you have accounts on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, you need to learn how to be consistent in having the right profile picture, the same profile picture on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Now, why is that important? Because branding is about perception. It's about what people consistently see you doing that builds the right perception in their minds. Therefore, when they see you having the same professional picture on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, automatically it sends a message in their minds, right? So you need to be consistent in having the right branding element in all platforms. It goes the same with the username. You cannot have username on Facebook as it's blinky blinky. Then on Instagram is ty blinky blinky something something. Then on LinkedIn now you have the same name. You have your right name. No, it destroys your brand. For people to have the right brand perception about you, let them consistently see the same name on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. It again contributes to the brand perception. Another consistency is the color scheme, the kind of color. That's why if you look at me, on all my social media handles, you see that I'm wearing a blue suit and a black shirt and a black tie. I follow particular colors because the more people, you never know who is searching you on Google. You never know who will stumble on you on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook. The more they see that, the more their brains start consuming that particular information. And the next thing is consistency in your tone, the way you sound. You cannot be speaking pidgin today, pidgin tomorrow, or wrong grammar here, wrong grammar there, and all of that. You are not consistent in your tone. So people cannot be able to build the right perception about you. So you must be consistent in the right element. And let me talk about another consistency, which is consistency in how you sound in writing and how you sound in speaking. There are some people that the way they sound in writing, when you meet them physically, they are so terrible the way they speak. They can barely construct a sentence that makes sense when they're speaking with you face to face. But there are some people that the way they speak English so well, but they cannot write English so well. So there is a discrepancy already affecting your brand. So if you are that person, you know that you can speak so well, but you cannot write so well. You need to train yourself to write so well so that you can be consistent in that area. it plays a, remember, branding is not loud. Branding is very subtle. Branding is very, very subtle. It's not a loud thing. And it's what you do now. Branding and consistently deliver the same thing across these things I've spoken about. Now, that is why you never build a good brand overnight. A good research says that for you to build a brand that commands authority, you have to do the right things, quality things consistently for at least 4 years. They can build a reputable brand that commands the authority. So you will not start today and have a good brand tomorrow. No, you need to be consistently good at doing that. Then the brand starts coming out and people can pick you up. Yes, Chris, then we'll round up.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, so that is quite clear to the point. Branding is not something that you would just wake up and then create it overnight. It is not like it's something, it's an image that you are creating. It is an idea that you are trying to put in people's minds about you. Now, exactly. Your job, someone said that your job is to do your job really well. Your job is to do your job really well and to make sure that each day you are thinking of becoming better than you were yesterday. Mm-hmm. And then if you are trying to create a brand, just like Dr. has said, a brand is something that you are going to create it, like you have to take like 4 consistent years and above to create the brand. Mm-hmm. Always try to consistently compare yourself, your yesterday's self with your today's self. And then ask yourself, who am I today? Am I going to be the same person in 4 years to come? Or what am I going to be in 5 years to come? Yeah. And then don't just sit at your home and then ask yourself, who am I going to be in 5 years? Ask yourself, am I doing what it takes to be what I want to be in 5 years? Yeah. Now, you can, to construct a home, work in plantations, make money, everything is so easy in this world, but it is so difficult to create a brand. And it is also very easy to create a brand if you understand the formula of how to create a brand. Yeah. Now, you hear like he said, sometimes most of our social media handles, we just joke with them carelessly. You come online, you insult people, and then after you say, after all, they're my house, can't beat me. At the end of the day, yes, you say you're in your house that they should come and beat you. You don't actually know that you're already beating yourself in your house. Nobody's going to come and beat you, but you are beating yourself because poverty and failure is going to beat you down. We are living in a world where what you do on social media immediately counts for or against your life. It's either going to count positively or negatively. I shared here one time ago about my last job that I applied for. When I applied for that job, I didn't actually even expect that I could have that job. Honestly, because it is something that I was just trying to do it. I didn't really feel that I could get it somehow. It's not like lack of confidence about getting it. There are things in life that you just want to try them, knowing that you still have time to get it. But meanwhile, I've already built everything around that. And when I got that, I went and then for that job, when they interviewed me, the people, like the interview panel, they first of all started by telling me that, so what we are doing today, we are just interviewing clients. And by the end of next week, we will be reaching out to those that we have selected. They told me quite clear, they were not selecting clients. But after interviewing me, the same day I got that job. And when I got that job, I was asking myself questions. How did I actually get this job? Like, they told me that they are going to be getting back to people in 1 week time, but you were supposed to also give time and get back to me in 1 week. What did I actually do so extra? Yes, I know that when it comes to answering interview questions, I don't joke about that, but that is not all. There is no interview question that an employer will really pose to me that will have to baffle me anyhow. But it's not all about that, because there are people outside there who are so excellent and intelligent about tackling those questions, maybe even more than you do. Now, what you are doing is that you are trying, so you are looking, building your brand means that you are looking for an area where you are going to stand out against those people. It's just like you people are taking steps, and someone takes a step, you take another one, and always making sure that you are a step ahead of everybody. That is what we call a brand. Now, so what I stayed in this job for some time, and then, like, when we were talking, I had a one-on-one with my supervisor, and she told me that immediately I went home, she went online to Google my name and check me. She was so open because she told me this clearly that she went online. I was like, what? So you checked me? She says she did. And this is because of the image that I have. You will never see me dragging with someone. You will never see me. If you go to Google and type my name, things that will come up about me will be humanitarian activities, motivation, and all those things. That is what you will see about me on Google. You will not see about things that will have to belittle my personality. It's either, so there are two things, because we talked about building a brand. If you are not so certain about the brand that you can build for yourself, don't go and build a negative brand. Sometimes just staying silent already, it's a brand that you are building, but better stay silent and that brand is being attributed to you than going on to build a brand that you have not really identified to see if that is something you need to do. So
Absolutely.
that is what we're talking about. So basically, I think this is all I have to say. I don't know if we need to take a couple of minutes and look at some questions or contributions.
Yes, I think if people have a few questions, you can drop them now. Today's session is supposed to be 1 hour exactly, and we're good to go. So if you have questions, please drop them. I will answer 2-3 questions, and then we're good to go. And the last thing I wanted to add about building a brand in a practical way is 2 things. Learn to interact with people in your industry and events in your industry. It's a very powerful way to build a brand. I have many people that have had job offers because they went to the same event where company CEOs were in that event, and that led to a job offer. You see, like I was saying the other time, one of my posts, you cannot be like many young Cameroonians. We have many young Cameroonians now who have gone to more nightclubs more than they have gone to more industry events. How can you be a whole professional and you have attended more nightclubs and you have attended more conferences and more seminars? You should be worried of yourself. You see? So one way to build a brand is that if you want to build a good brand around agriculture, around technology, look for technology agricultural events in Douala, in Yaoundé, in Lagos, in Nairobi, anywhere you're following this. Discipline yourself, attend these events on Saturdays and on Sundays or whatever time, interact with these events and use them. That's why people post pictures. Let me tell you, do not be shy of posting pictures of professional events. That is the channel where you can communicate and enhance your perceived value in the minds of other people. Okay? There is no way, if nobody knows you, you will die a talented poor man. So don't be shy of posting things that you're doing that are industry related, that can enable people to perceive that this is who you are and this is the kind of professional or business person that you are. When you do that, you'll be able to build a powerful brand. Okay? Please don't joke with your brand online. Your brand can open doors for you. It can give you job offers as much as you want if you only do it intentionally and, of course, strategically in a powerful way. All right. Any questions for us? We have like 2-3 minutes to take questions. Any questions? And we're good to go.
Yeah.
Daddy Chris, any questions? Did you see questions?
Looking through, I think we don't have questions. People are only dropping contributions. Yeah. We don't have, maybe some questions got missing along the line. You know, we have so many comments, not so easy to scroll back and see the comments. But if someone had a question that you dropped and we did not answer, you could have dropped it now. Let me see if this is a question.
Yes.
Oh, there's a question. I started building yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. Yes, I started building a brand on wellness, but my social media handles carry my name. Please, what do you advise I do? Now, see, whether you have your name or you have your business name, the main importance is what is the perceived value that you are communicating. Your name is just a channel. Your name on its own is just a name, but it is the branding activities that you carry out around that name that now makes it a brand. Whether you have but wellness with males or males, your other name, it doesn't make. What makes it a brand are the branding activities that you carry out around that brand. Okay, so like for example, I just have Jaffney Jerbet. That's my name, right? And then there's another person who has the name of the business, and they're still doing that. So what makes it whether it's a brand or the branding activities that you have around that, and you're good to go, because the activities now build the perceived value and the goodwill around the name that you can now monetize, or create the money that you want or sell, as far as that brand is concerned. I hope it helps you.
Okay, let me answer this short one from Sandy Blink. She says, as a nurse, what kind of branding can one do? Now, this is not just about being a nurse or any other professional. Like we said, you have to first of all identify your beliefs. What do you stand for as a nurse? Now, branding yourself today, we are talking specifically on social media. Do you frequently make posts on your social media handles about nursing, what you do as a nurse, and what is supposed, like nurses are supposed to do? Now, are you connecting with professionals in your department, or in what you do as a nurse? Are you trying to connect with other professionals? We talked about building core values. We talk about connecting with some professionals that do the same thing as you do. So if you're a nurse, in order to brand yourself, you have to make sure that you are surrounding yourself. This is one thing that is also good in branding. The people that you associate with makes us see you as those people too. The same way we see those people, that is the same way we see you. So if you are a nurse and then you begin to associate with traditional doctors, then you make me feel that at least you are using maybe if I'm not good, like I don't like traditional medicine, I look you as somebody who is using maybe other methods to cure people. As a nurse, build that, like the relationships around you, and then let us know the decisions that influence you and how you think as being a nurse. So those are some of the ways that you can be able to brand yourself as a nurse or any professional, depending on the field you belong to.
Absolutely. I mean, you have said it all. Now, just to add as we round up, I've been saying this lately. One of the most highly paid jobs, or one of the most highly paid professions now and in the future, is to be a brand development expert or a social media development expert. If you can build your skill in a way that you can help people build brands, you can become a highly paid professional, and you can become what they call brand consultants. But you need to be exceptionally good at it in a way that you can build brands that can help people make money from their brand. There are people who build brand awareness, but there is a level of brand development strategies that leads to great sales in business, right? I even have a course that I'm teaching people how to become brand expert and specialists that can help people make sales. So if you are here and you're thinking of what kind of career to build, and you're the kind of person that you love social media, you love people, you love business, maybe you can consider building a career around becoming a brand development expert, because it's going to be one of the top relevant skills and professions in the next 30 years plus, because that is where the world is going to as far as social media is concerned. All right, Chris, I know you said you have a meeting. I also have a meeting starting in a few minutes. So
Yeah.
we have to run.
So, of course, we will be just ending the live broadcast for today. Any last word?
All right, everybody. Again, the mission of this session that we have been having on Saturdays is to open your minds. Again, one eye is not enough, or one eye is not enough for us to teach you what we know. But the purpose of this is to give you blueprints, open your mind, see this is possible, this is possible, this is what you can do. Now, go do further research, go deeper, go get a coach, attend a training, go deeper in this, and you'll be amazed who you'll become professionally and financially in the next 1 year to come. All right. See you next Saturday, hopefully, and we'll talk on another exciting topic. Cheers.
Of course. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next Saturday. And as we said, we are going to follow you up after this series to make sure that we are selecting the best participants and see how you are doing in your own area of expertise. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you same time next week.
Voice of the Voiceless TV presents to you Weekly Echoes, featuring education, entertainment, entrepreneurship debate, arts, and culture.